flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Regan.
Present.
Commissioner Goodspeed.
Present.
Commissioner Green.
Present.
Commissioner Ricks. Vice Chairman Rendell.
Present.
Chairman Escobar.
President. Next item on the agenda is discussion or action approval of the minutes from Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Approved.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the minutes? No discussion on the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the Marshal's report. The Marshal's report on July 1st, 2026 to July 31st, 2026. Marshal, the floor is yours.
Thanks, sir. So for the month of July, we had 345 calls for service. We also had 201 self-initiated calls. The guy made 81 traffic stops on regular duty, 30 stops on grant detail, and of those 111 traffic stops, they issued 11 citations, 96 warnings. We had 4 reckless driving calls, 4 alarm calls, 9 animal calls, 1 assault, and 1 burglary during the month. We had 4 disorderly conduct calls, 1 domestic violence, 4 DUIs, 1 accident call, 33 public assists, 21 other agency assists. And as far as lost and found property, we had 6 lost reports of property, and we found 4. So 2 are still outstanding. As far as calls for service or calls of interest, on July 10th, deputies found an open door at the Adobe Lodge Hotel. The room was searched. There were indicators that someone's been staying there, and while they were checking other rooms, 3 other doors were found unsecured. I only bring this up because in the past we've been talking about that lodge, how it's unsecure, and probably 3 or 4 times a month we find open doors. On the 13th of July, TMO assisted the city building inspector in enforcing city codes violations on Mountain View Road. The property owner has been residing on the property without proper inspections and has also been spreading his junk on the adjoining properties. This has been an ongoing issue for a couple of years. On this occasion, TMO issued several citations to the homeowner for code violations and was given 30 days to clean up the property. As a follow reserves up until mid-month that worked a total of 64 hours, saving the city roughly $1,400. And unfortunately, Reserve Spencer recently fell and breaking his lower back. He has since undergone surgery and is home recovering and will be out of service for at least 2 months. Additionally, there's been a lot of misinformation spread in recent weeks across the nation concerning the flock cameras and privacy issues. Sergeant Garcia is present tonight, and he's going to provide some information in a few minutes regarding the use of the cameras and the information it gathers. However, I would like to highlight a few cases we at TMO have solved using the flock system. For starters, Keith Jones, if y'all remember, started back in December of last year, we received a voyeurism complaint from ex-girlfriend Keith Jones. A deputy, actually a couple of deputies, started the investigation, and as the investigation progressed, it was determined that Keith Jones was an unregistered sex offender living in St. David. He continued harassing his ex-girlfriend to include places that she would go to events in. We were able to use the flock cameras and other cameras available to us to track his vehicle so that we would know when he's going to and from his ex-girlfriend's house and places of business. As a result of that initial investigation, the deputies were able to determine that Keith Jones is involved in at least 2 unsolved homicides from out of state. Our investigation showed good probable cause that he's involved in a 30-year-old homicide out of Colorado and about a 25 to 30-year-old homicide out of California. Those agencies are still working the case on
Garcia with the Marshal's office. So we've
Is
had.
that microphone on?
Is that better? Okay, all right. Sergeant Garcia with the Marshal's office. We've had the flock camera since about 2023. So we started at 4 and we got under grant. The flock system is what is called a CJIS, CJIS, which is Criminal Justice Information System, regulated system. The system, we run audits on it, so we see what our people are looking up, and that they have met the requirements to use the system to investigate something, which means they have to reach reasonable suspicion to begin an investigation into using the system. They have to give a case number, they have to give what they're looking up, and then they can narrow down their search field to look for whatever it is. Nobody in the office is running searches blindly. We're sitting there watching the cameras. Our cameras don't give us live views of traffic driving. It takes the picture as the vehicle passes a stationary point, and then it puts it into the system. The information is retained for 30 days, and then it is no longer accessible to us. We retain all the information. So the system, if you think about it like a server or like a file cabinet, we own the file cabinet. We don't have to share with anybody if we choose not to, or we can share with other law enforcement agencies within Arizona. We have limited most of our sharing to Arizona because that's what's most pertinent to us, versus sharing to Wyoming, Illinois, California, wherever else it may be. I know it's been very popular on social media that the flock is tracking you and it's going to know everywhere you go. You have to understand you're passing a camera. You're passing a singular stationary point amongst your travels. It's not following you like a drone. Once you pass that point, we don't know where you go unless you pass another camera. We aren't even looking into you unless we have some sort of reasonable suspicion or some sort of criminal nexus to look into your vehicle or to look for a vehicle like your type. Like white Honda Civic, there's lots of them. We can start narrowing it down by time frames. All the deputies within the department have all undergone the little training modules that are on the system to understand how to use it. And like I said, 30 days is as long as we have that. The 31st day, anything that's over 30 days is gone to us. We cannot recover. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for the marshal or the sergeant?
I would like to know a couple of things. I appreciate getting this information. I think that this is necessary for our community because I've been bombarded with lots of emails about it as well. I have used the information that we had before to explain to people this is how it's being used. I didn't know anything else and how you're accessing the data, so that's good for them, that our community to know. But I do have two primary questions. Is there a policy for how it is operated? For example, detailing what you just said and several other things. And my other question is, how are we sure that all of the situations that are happening around the country where officers or agencies are using it the wrong way is prevented here?
So I'm going to answer your last question first.
Okay.
So we do audits, meaning I can go back and I can look at what everybody in the department has run for the last 30 days. I can look at what outside entities have also run against our system into our network for the last 30 days. So we do go back and look. We see, so and then now to answer your first question, the system requires a case number, it requires a nature, and it requires a reason to run a search. If you don't meet those requirements, the system will not allow you to run a search. So you have to put something in. So we can't just, as it's been popular lately on social media, stalk an ex-partner because we just want to see where that person's going. I can't speak for anybody else's system, how it's set up. The way we've set up our systems, we put those fail-safes on place. So they have to give those requirements for them to run a search. With the audits, if we find that they are running searches and they are made up fictitious case numbers that aren't theirs, case numbers that they wouldn't have a reason to go looking up something, such as a found property case number, and now they're searching cars. Well, that would prompt a question, that would prompt an investigation by the marshal into seeing if they're illegally using the system. The state does have guidelines, and I don't know the ARS off the top of my head, that dictates the use of the CGIS and CGIS systems.
Okay, you said our officers and our other agencies. Do other agencies need permission from you to access that information, or do they have their own login to access that information?
No, so we have granted permission to agencies within Arizona. Agencies outside of Arizona, we have limited any allowance as far as them being able to access our system.
I think that's all because we have limited time.
Anybody else?
Sergeant, just to clarify, the interagency access, I assume that is part and parcel to sharing the information. For instance, we were saying earlier, a vehicle that's been involved in a crime here in Tombstone shows up in St. David, Tucson, wherever. It's part of that mesh, if you will, that allows further tracking and timeline establishment. So,
Yes.
fair to say.
Yes, it allows us to play and reach and see where that vehicle is gone, possibly get it back to an area or maybe link to other cars.
And to some extent, that can also sometimes, in my experience in other cities, it can be exculpatory, right? Sometimes it also can eliminate various suspects as well.
Yes,
So it cuts both ways on this thing. So
it does, because we can rule out, everybody's saying it's white cars. We look at white cars and no white car in the future. So now we're not chasing or trying to stop a white car on time, and we can use our time more wisely.
right,
The resources we have available to us.
it allows focus.
Exactly.
All right. No further questions? Thank you.
I do have a couple of questions related to the report, not necessarily the law. Do we have time for that?
You okay?
Okay, so a couple related to the arrest at Mountain View Road. I would like to know, because I'm hearing conflicting information, what is the process that the city has to go through to get to the point of arrest?
Well, that's kind of a tricky question. In this case, the subject that was living there, and as I understand it, the property belongs to his sister,
Right.
and she is out of state, way out of state. He had been served several notices through the city. She had also been served several notices from the city to clean up the mess, not occupy the building, and other code violations. When I was approached this last time, I suggested that we go out and locate him and we charge him with violations because he's been served several times.
So is there a number of times? Only because that's a situation of a property that was not in my ward. And there are several that are in my ward that we've been working with the building inspector on. And I do know that there's a warrant out for one of their arrests, but there are several other properties like that. So how many times does somebody have to be served with a code violation before there's, and I don't even know, where does it come in at arrest?
There's really no set amount of times. Each case is going to be different. For instance, if I go to your house and you're in violation of city codes, and the building inspector informs you either by letter or verbally to get your stuff picked up, and you basically blow him off,
short question following up on that. Are they forcing their way in, or are these doors somehow being unlocked, or how are they re-secured afterwards?
Now, first of all, the doors are flimsy, it doesn't take much to open them. Most of the time they're unlocked, whether they get jimmied or not.
Fair enough, but, and we don't secure them, meaning it's left in the condition that, kicked in or whatever.
Basically abandoned and not even looked at.
Understood.
All right, we're running a little late into the meeting, so
authorized it, and what has already been spent, what planning has been completed, and what approvals may still be needed. Transparency isn't only answering questions once someone knows enough to ask them. Transparency is allowing the public to see government working before the bulldozer arrives. So I'm asking the mayor and the council to pause further work on this project and bring it fully into the public process. Put it on an agenda, explain its purpose, disclose the costs and planning,
3 minutes.
publicly.
Anyone else? No comment, please. Anyone else?
Mayor, council, my name is Deborah Mangos. I live at 1345 North
Make sure the green button's on there.
My name is Deborah Mangles. I live at 1345 North Cortez Circle, and I'm here because I believe Tombstone needs immediate attention when it comes to the appearance, maintenance, and overall condition of our community. Tombstone is a historic town, and it is our history that brings people here, and tourism is an integral part of our local economy. It is the first impression visitors receive when they arrive that matters, and right now that impression is not where it could be. There are vehicles that are unregistered, inoperable, or abandoned sitting on city streets that have been there for extended periods of time. These vehicles create an appearance of neglect and take up valuable parking places. In addition, there are concerns about the maintenance of some of the businesses, commercial properties, buildings, and storefronts that are poorly maintained can make an entire area look run down and tired, not vibrant and thriving. There needs to be consistent monitoring and enforcement of the city's existing property maintenance requirements. Allen Street should be the heart and showcase of Tombstone. Instead, at times, it looks and feels like a ghost town. Empty or poorly maintained storefronts, neglected properties, and inadequate landscaping do not reflect the historic community we want visitors to experience. Our landscaping is another major concern. Overgrown, unmaintained areas contribute to an overall impression that no one cares. I want to be clear, this is not an attack on individual property owners or businesses. It's about asking our city government to enforce the rules consistently and take action when those standards are not being met. I am respectfully requesting the city council for immediate action. I ask that the city review the enforcement of regulations regarding abandoned and unregistered vehicles on public streets, conduct a review of commercial properties and storefronts, address properties that are not being properly maintained, including the city-owned utility easements, which should be cleared of all obstructions for both access and fire protection, and develop a plan to improve and maintain the appearance of Allen Street and our public landscaping. Most importantly, I ask for measurable action and accountability. We need clear timelines, responsible departments or individuals, and updates to the community so residents can see that progress is actually being made. We cannot change Tombstone past, and we shouldn't want to. Our history is what makes us special. But if we can decide that what Tombstone looks like today and what kind of town we need for the future, we can make that decision. When visitors come to Tombstone, their first impression should be one of, wow, this is really cool. I'm glad we decided to come. Our streets should be clean and orderly, our businesses should look cared for, our landscape should be maintained, and Allen Street should look like the center of thriving historic community. Tombstone has tremendous potential, and I believe our community deserves better. I respectfully ask the council to make these issues priority and begin taking concrete action now. Let's protect our history, improve our present, and make Tombstone a community we can all be proud of. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor Escool, council members, city clerk, and the members of the public. I'm extremely nervous. I've never done this before. My name is Leanne Champlin, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak this evening. Tonight, I'm respectfully requesting to submit a citizen-developed draft surveillance technology policy and governance manual for the city of Tombstone. This proposal is not about opposing public safety, law enforcement, or the appropriate use of technology. I believe public safety and responsible use of technology can and should work together. Previously, I shared my concerns with the city regarding the use of surveillance technology and offered my assistance in developing a policy. Rather than simply raising concerns, I choose to research the issue, prepare this draft as a constructive resource for the city's considering. Over the past several weeks, I have reviewed municipal best practices, Arizona law, constitutional principles, and examples of surveillance governance used by other communities. The result is a draft that I hope will encourage thoughtful planning, transparency, accountability, meaningful public participation, and protection of individual privacy whenever surveillance technology is acquired, deployed, or used by or on behalf of the city. My request this evening is simple. I'm not asking the council to adopt this document tonight. Instead, I respectfully ask the council to consider the importance of having a written surveillance technology policy before future surveillance technology is deployed or expanded. Whether this draft is used in whole, in part, or simply serves as a starting point for discussion, my hope is that it assists the city in developing a policy that supports public safety while protecting transparency, accountability, privacy, and public trust. I also respectfully ask that the council consider referring the draft to the city attorney and appropriate city staff for review and recommendations. I will now submit the complete copy of this draft policy and governance manual to our city clerk for the city's records. I have also prepared a one-page executive summary as a concise overview of all the proposal. A digital copy can be provided upon request. For members of the public, I did bring flyers if you want an overview of what is in the draft. Thank you for your time, your service to the city of Tombstone, and your thoughtful consideration.
There is no applause. This meeting, okay? All right, anyone else call the public?
Good evening, Mayor Cole, council members, public citizens. My name is Margarita Lane. I live in Tombstone. I'm a resident here for 8 years. I have a couple of questions, and I hope that you will consider using some of this for discussion for item D, for the grant for the drug trafficking area. The reason why I'm concerned is, so these are my questions. How did this grant come to be? How does Tombstone's participation mean that I'll just ask, are we a high drug community? Do we have a drug problem here that warrants the city of Tucson getting into our business? Who's going to manage this? Who's going to be in charge of this? Who's going to keep data? And what will our officers be doing? Because it was from January 1st of this year to December 31st of next year. So I was kind of concerned with, have we already paid for some overtime? I'm just some questions that I hope that you would consider discussing when you get to this item. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll close the public comment and move on to the next item is events committee report. We'll start with the fire chief's report. Chief, report here.
Okay, for the year so far,
far, the Tombstone Fire Department won 471 calls, 349 EMS, 39 fires, 29 MVA calls, 43 snake calls, 2 brush fires, and 11 TMO assists. Right now, this coming week, we're going to be meeting with United Fire. We're looking to update our air pack systems. We're also going to be getting foam back, which will be a huge water saver for the town. We've got 2 new firefighters that have just started, and we've had 1 resignation.
All right. Reason I did that is so if he has to leave, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, Cole, council members, city clerk, and community. I am Tammy Jo Wilkins, your events committee chairperson. I'm here to provide you an update of our last events committee meeting. August 29th is going to be a bike night. A bike night will be hosted at the Oriental Saloon from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. The event will include a Tombstone themed pub crawl scavenger hunt with participants visiting participating establishments to complete challenges and collect points and code words. The scavenger hunt will conclude at the Oriental Saloon with live music and drawings for participating guests. There is no obligation to drink to participate in this pub crawl. The activities are designed to encourage attendees to explore Tombstone and support local businesses. Participating establishments will have opportunities to help attendees earn points through t-shirt sales and other saloon-specific merchandise, as well as fun photo opportunities and other Tombstone-themed challenges. The 3 p.m. start time is intentional to give visitors an opportunity to walk around town, visit local stores, businesses, attractions, and enjoy Tombstone before the establishments close at 5. Live to Ride update, finalizing plans and implementation for the October event. Promoters have begun a Southwestern Arizona tour of motorcycle events to promote Live to Ride and encourage attendance here in October. Live to Ride planning meetings will now be held weekly to finalize event details, prepare for implementation, and coordinate directly with the city on plans, logistics, and event needs. We have listened to multiple community members who are bringing up issues of parking concerns, the lack of the bathroom establishments, and food trucks. We are intending to bring in 20 porta potties, and we'll be working with the city on those locations to set them up. And there will be food trucks set up not only at the Discover Tombstone Field, but the Art Gallery parking lot. We're assisting with identifying additional accommodations as they become available. It appears approximately 98% of local lodging is already booked, and that demonstrates a very strong interest in this event. Working with the event promoters on a few upcoming community surprises that will allow them to give back to Tombstone and thank the community for its support. So be ready for those items to be shared. Gathering information from local businesses to establish a key to the city discount program for attendees. We have quite the list started, so if any businesses are listening to this presentation and they have not let us know yet that they would like to provide a discount for any participant that comes in with a key to the city, let me know and we'll make sure you're on our program, and we'll need to have that information probably in the next 2 weeks so that we can get this printed. Participation continues to grow with local businesses joining this program, and it's at a rapid pace. I'm super excited to share that. I think I've got over half the town right now. The program will help promote local businesses while providing an added benefit to the visitors. Live to Ride has a liquor license application on the agenda for this evening. The application for liquor license for the October Live to Ride event is slated for your approval. The license will allow alcohol service within a designated confined area at Discover Tombstone Field during the event. This was developed in partnership with the Tombstone Brewery, which is participating as one of the event's largest sponsors. And the focus will be showcasing locally made beers and supporting local business. That's the theme here. Moving on to Colorado. Colorado's quickly approaching, and the board will be out in the community this week soliciting advertising for the Tombstone publication. So again, let us know if we don't knock on your door here in the next couple of days if you'd like an ad in the newspaper. This newspaper reaches over 1,000 people that event weekend. The parade notification was published yesterday on the Facebook page and has already received about 15,000 views on Facebook alone. That's huge, and it's showing a strong early community interest. We've advertised a theme for our parade this year because we're celebrating America's 250th birthday, and our theme is America's Westward Expansion. This year's parade theme, in addition to that, will also have a special prize through the El Dorado Board. We are also looking ahead to the future because El Dorado is at year 97, and very shortly will be at 100th anniversary. We are looking at serious thought and planning at how we can make our 100th anniversary of El Dorado celebration the biggest that this community has ever seen, and even more memorable. So any ideas we're welcome to with the board of directors for El Dorado, and we've got a few ideas up our sleeves ourselves, so more details will be shared as the planning process progresses. I'm ready for your questions. Anything?
Thank you very much. You guys are doing an outstanding job.
Excuse me,
Except for this guy here. I mean, you guys are all doing a good job.
I do have a question. The event for the pub crawl, you said a game activity. I don't know what that is. Could you explain that?
It's a scavenger hunt. So every location that's participating will have one element of the scavenger hunt. For example, if somebody goes into Doc Holliday's Saloon, maybe their scavenger hunt is take a picture at the neon sign, show it to the bartender. The bartender is going to validate that you took that picture at Doc Holliday's and give you a code word. They're going to go to specific establishments. So it would be, just an example, Big Nose Kate's, Crystal Palace, Doc Holliday's Saloon, Four Deuces, and the Tombstone Brewery, and then end at the Oriental Saloon. They're going to gather all of these code words, and then they have to scramble those words together to make the sentence of basically what we're trying. And then at the end of that, once they make that sentence, their participation card gets submitted into their drawing for that evening.
So it's only the saloons are involved in that.
Well, if we want businesses involved, we can definitely entertain them.
Okay, and that was my other question because you mentioned discount key. I have two businesses. I don't know anything about that for the Late July event.
Right.
So how are you notifying businesses about that discount key option?
I did go to all of the businesses a few months back, actually, and I left letters. If the owners were not there, I left it with their front desk staff. So if you don't have that, I'll bring another one to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public Works Director, can I give us a report?
Mine's not gonna be as exciting as the cheese of the Marshall, but besides the
City Clerk.
Good evening. I'm going to touch base on just about 3 topics here. Well, first, the primary election finally is over. The city of Tombstone completed the process, and we got the results from the Cochise County Elections Department, which we are canvassing tonight. Based on the primary election results, the following candidates will take office in November. The mayor is Justin Escapol, Ward 1 Councilmember Colin Regan, Ward 2 Councilmember John Bixby, Ward 3 Councilmember Judy Green. The Ward 4 Council member race will proceed to the November 3rd, 2026 general election with James Lefty Neubauer and Jen Burns receiving the 2 highest vote totals in primary election. The general election will determine the Ward 4 Council member then. The newly elected mayor and council members will be sworn into office on November 10th at the regular council meeting. I would like to thank all the candidates who stepped forward and ran for office. It takes a commitment to the community to put your name on the ballot and to be willing to serve. We appreciate everyone who participated in the election and the willingness to serve residents of Tombstone. The only thing I have for an update on the pond. The pond project remains in the engineering and planning stages. Once the engineering is completed, the plans will be brought before the mayor and council for review. This is a multi-step process and will take time to complete. Next thing is I want to address a little bit what the marshal addressed on the Metcalfe field cameras, just to give facts and 100% of what actually happened. And I want it on record. On July 27th, the city made a Facebook post informing the public that the field had been vandalized following the removal of the trail cameras. The purpose of the post was to inform residents of what had occurred and encourage them to report suspicious activities, since we don't no longer have cameras. The post stated that the cameras had been removed following several citizen complaints. It did not identify or disclose any of the citizens who contacted the city regarding the cameras, nor did it publish or reference any email correspondence or how the complaints were submitted. Following the post, a comment was made accusing a city official of being responsible for the removal of the cameras. That was an assumption and was not the case at all. To prevent the city official from being personally targeted, I am the person who does the social media. I hid the comment, and then everything was turned off. The city's practice is that personal attacks against city officials or employees will not be tolerated on the city's official social media pages. Some bullet point facts here. The city installed the trail cameras at Meadow Ridge in March, following repeated acts of vandalism to the facility. The cameras were purchased as a temporary security measure while the city evaluated long-term options. Signage was intentionally not placed on the cameras so their locations would not be obvious while the city worked to identify those responsible for vandalism. The city had previously placed more than 50 do not enter field signs throughout Meadow Ridge Park, which was then torn down and locks cut. Based on that experience, signage was not placed on the temporary trail cameras. For 4 months, we've had these cameras up, and just in July, the city received the first complaint regarding the trail cameras, followed shortly thereafter by additional complaints. Concerns included privacy and the possibility of children being captured on the cameras. There was also conclusion that the trail cameras were part of the flock system. They were not. During this time, another constituent contacted Arizona Public Service at the Phoenix office to initiate an investigation regarding the use of the APS pole for the cameras. The city has a well-established working relationship with APS. We have our own representative. We don't go through the 1-800 number. We have a personal representative to ask permission or to go through. They gave us permission temporarily to use. And we were advised that if we did any long-term, we would have to go through an intergovernment agreement with APS, which we brought before the council. We're not at that stage yet. We're still deciding what we're doing with surveillance. Following the complaints received, the city made the decision to remove the cameras while a permanent solution is evaluated to protect city facilities and public spaces while addressing concerns raised by residents. Now, unfortunately, what began as a simple informational public notice led to criticism of the city clerk's office on how things were handled. 2 comments made on the city Facebook page that were by constituents resulted in how my office handles citizen complaints.
were then used as a basis for a separate social media post questioning the professionalism and transparency of the clerk's office. I believe it's important to clarify the facts and provide the full context for the record. My staff works very extremely hard for the city. They come to work every day, handle difficult situations, answer questions from the public, maintain city records, and do their best to serve our residents professionally. They care about this community, as do I do. I was born and raised here. My grandfather served as a mayor, my grandmother was a magistrate. I am an alumni from Tombstone High School. They represent not only as me as a city clerk, but the city of Tombstone and the administration sitting right here before me today. We all took an oath to serve and protect the city and its residents, and our city employees are an essential part of fulfilling that responsibility. All city employees, including TMO, our emergency services, my office, public works, our library, our committees, we are the backbone and the people who keep the day-to-day operations of this city moving forward. I just want to encourage any resident who has questions or concern regarding city business to contact City Hall directly. By phone, email, or in person. My office is always open, willing to answer questions, assist residents with obtaining information. The city also welcomes public records requests, which are handled in accordance with Arizona Public Records Law and may be subject to applicable fees. The time required to fulfill a request depends on the scope and the complexity of that request. Social media can be a great tool, a great place to share information, but it's not the best way to obtain answers and resolve regarding city business. If there is a question, concern, request, the information, please come by my office. I'm not here, I'm a deputy clerk. If I'm not here, we have several knowledgeable people in our office that can help you, or another department. Lastly, off the subject here, I'm announcing a lockdown for one of our former visitor center managers, Terry Smith. Terry Smith passed away on July 19th. And the city and his family will be honoring a lockdown on August 22nd, starting at 11 a.m. on 6th Street, walking down to 2nd, which is at the American Legion, where they then will have a small memorial service, and a potluck is asked if people want to bring something for Terry. Terry was the life of the visitor center. He was such a great person to not only talk to our visitors, but also he was a friend to many of us on Allen Street. So please spread the word. We do have things out, flyers out that we need for him, and we just want to support his wife and his mother-in-law.
Thank you. That's a very good report. Next item on the agenda is discussion or action on approval of minutes for special council meeting on Wednesday, July 8th, 2026. I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Approve.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Out of no discussion, close discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, may discussion of this on new business. Discussion or action on approval of the accounts payable in the amount of $343,369.51. This is July 1st, 2026 to July 31st, 2026. I'll ask for a motion to approve. Motion made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Discussion. Out of no discussion, closed discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item B, discussion and action on approval of resolution number 052026, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Tombstone, Ocean County, Arizona, declaring the results of the primary election held on July 21st, 2026. I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Approve.
Second.
Motion made and second. Do we have any discussion? Having no discussion, roll call vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Regan.
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed.
Yes.
Councilmember Green.
Yes.
Councilmember Ritz.
Yes.
Mayor Escobar.
Yes, motion carried. Next item C, discussion or action with approval of the intergovernmental agreement for electric balance and supervisory services between Ocean County and the city of Tombstone general election on November 3rd, 2026. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion on it?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Ritz?
Yes.
Mayor Escobar?
Yes, motion carries. Item D, discussion and action on approval of the highway intensity drug trafficking area, HIDA, grant number HID 2626G0312-297 between the city of Tucson and the city of Tombstone. The purpose of the grant is funds to be used for HIDA overtime. Grant amount is $5,000. Match is none. The term is January 1st through December 31st. I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Marshall, are you still here? This HIDA grant is something we've been doing for years. And it doesn't cost us anything, and it pays for overtime that we utilize the deputies for, so it saves. Would you come up and explain the HIDA grant? Ms. Lane had a question about it during the call to the public, Marshall.
I just stepped out. What do you want me to do?
Do I?
Are you calling me?
Yes.
What would you like me to do?
Explain the HIDA grant to Ms. Lane. Ms. Lane.
HIDA grant?
The HIDA grant, yeah.
Have a seat. Hello.
That's why I've got Sergeant Garcia. He does all my grants. If that's what you're asking, what it's all about.
She had a question about it during the call to the public, and she's one that questioned why we were such a high crime rate area that we needed to have.
Our grant's a problem. Is it a useful grant to the
No, that wasn't my question. My question was, am I allowed to ask it one more time? Because if I can't, I'll just stop. Okay. My question was, I was surprised to see that it was for high drug. And so my question is, are we a high drug area, or is it for the corridor? And is Tucson going to be involved in managing our time and our money?
So the grant allows us to pay for equipment, overtime, and resources. As you know, Highway 80 is the main artery from Mexico to Phoenix. We have in the past, and we continue to make arrests on this highway, drug-related. The other part of your question, is Tombstone a drug-infested community? It is not. We know of several players, but it's low-key. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, I just saw the link.
Okay.
So as a follow-up on that, Marshall, is this primarily then for the Highway 80 corridor, in other words, as opposed to neighborhood enforcement, or is it a combination?
No, it's a combination. I mean, we use the grant resources for our benefit. With that, we get equipment, we get other tools, we get funding, and we put it to use for our community.
Right, so in other words, Tucson does not weigh in, really, it's entirely up to your department.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but Tucson has nothing to do with it.
It says in partnership with Tucson. Between
Sorry?
this, it says between City of Tucson and City of Tombstone.
I think they're the grant.
Marshall, the city of Tucson has the grant, and we are awarded some dollars
Yeah.
for overtime under that grant.
Yeah.
We're not operating for the city of Tucson. It's just that they have the grant dollars, and we are in partnership with them, and we are awarded part of that to utilize for overtime hours.
Okay.
That's why the city of Tucson is doing this.
They're sharing, in other words.
Correct.
Their reward with us.
Correct.
And is it only for overtime or other?
This specific grant is just overtime hours.
How many years have we been getting a HIDA grant?
To my recollection, I believe the last 3 years, but I would have to double check.
I'm sorry.
I think it's been the last 3 years, but I would have to double check that.
Anything further?
I do have another question. A while back, we were talking about the other grants, and I was asking for reports that are submitted to them. So is there a possibility of getting the report for?
Is this related to item D?
Yeah, that's what I mean, on this grant.
The Heidi grant you're talking about?
Yes, so as Deputy Clerk Hosda pointed out, we've had it for 3 years. We're renewing it again for the 4th year. Is there an ability to get the data from those reports that we've submitted in the past to see how effective having that extra funds has been for us?
I don't know that they would share all that data with you. I'm sure some of that is confidential. As far as dollar-wise, you could get the overtime hours that we have submitted. We have to first, if that is what you're requesting, that is reports that can be ran.
And numbers for this, like how many arrests, we're doing overtime, our deputies arresting the drug enforcers. I don't want to know the details of every case, just numbers.
Well, we don't want to lose the grant, though.
Right.
I mean, I'm just, you're kind of talking about KPIs, key performance indicators, or something that's just, no, that's fine.
I've never had so much trouble having the council decide that we need a dispute by
Agreed.
dollars being given to us.
There's no, agreed.
Bumble
There's no
behind a little bit. Thank you, Marshall, you can sit down. Roll call vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Reagan.
Yes.
Councilman Goodspeed.
Yes.
Councilmember Green.
Yes.
Councilmember Ritz.
Yes.
Mayor Esposito.
Yes, motion carried. Item E, discussion and interaction approval of Arizona Department of Liquor License and Control Special Event License application from Matthew Romero for Live to Ride event. This is to discover Tombstone Field, Friday, October 2nd, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any discussion? Having no discussion, roll call vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Reagan.
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed.
Yes.
Councilmember Green.
Yes.
Councilmember Ritz.
Yes.
Mayor Esposito.
Yes, motion carried. Item F, discussion and interaction on special approval of special use permit applications from Tombstone Small Animal Shelter for information tables on the boardwalk in front of the Christmas Palace during the fall special event weekend. I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Is there any discussion? Having no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item G, discussion and interaction on approval of the special use permit application from the Oriole Saloon for Bike Night, requesting the following Saturday, August 29th, 2026, from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Closure of Fifth Street between Fremont and Tubman for motorcycle parking. I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Having no discussion, roll call vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Reagan.
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed.
Yes.
Councilmember Green.
Yes.
Councilmember Ritz.
Yes.
Mayor Esposito.
Yes, motion carried. Item H, discussion and interaction on approval of special use permit application from Colorado Inc. for Colorado weekend, requesting the following Thursday, October 15th, 2026, at 5 p.m. on Sunday, October 18th, 2026, at 5 p.m. Shepard Park for vendors and from bounce houses, art gallery parking for food court, Allen Street between 4th and 5th Street for reenactments, information paper tents and vigilante hanging tree, Allen Street between 5th and 6th for parade lineup from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Allen Street between 6th and 2nd for parade on 11 a.m.
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yes.
Councilmember Green,
Yes.
Councilmember Ritz,
Yes.
Mayor Escapel.
Yes. Next item, discussion and interaction on approval of intergovernmental agreement with Cochise County regarding the Howard P. Buckler Foundation memorandum of understanding. MOU. The purpose is to accept Cochise County as a pass-through entity through which to transfer the funds from various fire districts and the city fire department from the Howard G. Buckler Foundation. The grant amount is for $70,000 and it's goes to the Tombstone Volunteer Fire Department. For a motion to approve.
Approved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
What do we need to do with the grant money?
Fines, daughter pass, freedom pass. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Reagan,
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yes.
Councilmember Green,
Yes.
Councilmember Ritz,
Yes.
Mayor Escapel.
Yes, motion